Surviving My Birthright, written by Casey Hammer, narrated by Allie James. In love, light, and gratitude, and for the most benevolent outcome, I bless and dedicate this book to everyone who has walked with me on my path, both living and not, to the universe/God, and all the members of Team Casey for taking that leap of faith with me. But most of all, thank you to the little girl, lost and alone, for surviving and letting me find you. You were, are, and continue to be the bravest person I have ever known. Namaste. Chapter 1. The Introduction. I woke up to a beautiful fall morning. As I lay in bed, I could hear birds singing and wind faintly blowing in the distance. I stretched out my arms and realized that the cats, Bugsy and Barney, were still asleep at my feet. Wrapped inside the comforter, I contemplated the effort it would take to move. I felt all warm and cozy as daylight started to stream through the shutters, like beacons announcing the day's arrival. The hardwood floor was cold on the bottom of my feet as I headed for the coffee pot. The cats must have been busy during the night, based on the evidence of toys randomly dispersed along the stairs. I sat at the breakfast bar and pulled out my journal. As I wrote, I thought again about my life. The memories came back to me one by one, like a movie, slowly advancing frame by frame. I could feel my heart start to race and my body become rigid as I remembered the lies, the deceit, and the betrayal. A loud bang startled me back into my body. It was the sprinklers going off in the backyard. Today it had sounded to me like a sonic boom. I decided not to think about it anymore and go about my day. As I drove on the freeway, the morning light reflected off the cars and blinded me. As my vision returned, I felt like the cars were racing by me and I was going nowhere. The more I stepped on the gas, the slower I went. I turned left onto the dirt road and continued down a familiar path. As I wound around, 2 squirrels dashed across the road. I watched them scamper down into the gully. The only evidence of their existence was the rustling of leaves as they ran away. I longed to be one of them. The thought of running and playing with no responsibilities or worries was so appealing. Abruptly, a vision flashed into my head. One of the squirrels lay dead along the side of the road as the other watched. It reminded me of my life, how something so beautiful and freeing turned into something so damaging and real. Getting out of the car, I noticed the sky was full of gloomy, ominous clouds. It reminded me of when I was a little girl. I used to lie on the grass and search the skies, imagining all kinds of characters that made up the white puffy clouds. I would construct a story of a world where cloud shapes inhabited the lands and everyone lived happily ever after. But these clouds were not bright and happy shapes. They were dark and dismal, with limbs that reached for the earth to swallow up anything and anyone in their path. The air was damp, and my skin felt moist as I filled my lungs with air, hoping to stay grounded and avoid being snatched up by the wicked clouds. The birds were all in a line, perched like statues on the electric wires. I felt like I was in an Alfred Hitchcock movie, searching the horizon for a way out. Then I saw it. A rickety old building with the paint peeling down the sides, shaded by a beautiful weeping willow tree. I walked toward the structure, and there he was, my horse Knight in all his magnificence. The only thing that really mattered in my life was my horse. I caught him lying down, which was abnormal for Knight. I cautiously crept toward him when, in one sudden motion, he jerked up to his feet. He was all wet, but I didn't remember it raining the night before. I started to stroke his neck and put my lips on his nose. I could feel his warm breath on my ear, and then we began to breathe in each other's air. Someone had once told me that by exchanging breath with a horse, you were exchanging energies, integrating souls, and creating a union for life. This works only if the horse is comfortable and trusts you enough to stand still as your nostrils touch. You have to begin breathing simultaneously. It takes a while to establish that level of trust, and that connection can never be taken for granted, because at any time, it can be withdrawn. I could sense a calm penetrate my body as I closed my eyes and let his energy comfort me. His breath was warm, and I could feel it travel down the back of my throat, filling up my lungs. As it swirled around inside me, I could hear a low hum vibrating in my ear. The intensity grew as my legs started to buckle and my body felt heavy. The force of what I was feeling was liberating.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?